Hi, and welcome back to It Figures. First, let me say I am sorry that I've been gone for such a long time, but I am back, and hopefully more reviews will be coming to you guys much more sooner than they have been before. So, right now, I have a really cool looking figure for you, and this is Slimer from the real Ghostbusters. Now, back when they actually released the animated series of the Ghostbusters, there was the Ghostbusters, which wasn't really the Ghostbusters, which really disappointed me because I wanted a Ghostbusters series so badly. And then later on, they came out with the real Ghostbusters, which actually was based on the movie. Now, I've always loved Slimer in the animated show. He was one of my favorites in there, along with, of course, Peter and... they're all great characters, don't get me wrong, but Slimer they did such a great job on, and they really made him a standout character from a movie that only had him in there for about 20 seconds. So when I first got this package, I was like, what the... How's this package so huge when all there is in there is a little tiny Slimer figure? Well, apparently, this entire thing here is the beginning of the front of the firehouse. So if you collect all these figures, you are able to build the actual entrance to the firehouse, which is pretty freaking cool. So this series actually just has Slimer and Egon and Winston in it. And I don't know how many of these are out actually yet. I think they might all be out. I don't really know. I don't know if this is just the first of the series. I actually saw this on Amazon. I didn't even know they were coming out. And I saw Slimer on there and I was like, oh man, I have to have him. And then, of course, I found out that they're actually making all of them. So maybe I will get all of them. I haven't really decided yet, but we shall see. Okay, so let's get into opening up Slimer and take a closer look at him. So here we go. Here is Slimer out of the package. And I can tell you it was really difficult getting him out of the package. They had so many wires and things on him, I guess, to make sure that he wasn't going to break. And... that's one thing I read about. These are actually made by Diamond Select. And I read that their figures break pretty easily, that the joints are kind of very, very frail. So I was kind of worried about that, getting him, but I went ahead and got him anyway, because I love the character so much. So we'll see, we'll take a look at the joints and see how frail they actually are. Okay, so who wouldn't love that face? I mean, that's such a great sculpt and great face for Slimer. And it really just embodies the animated style that they used back in the day when they made the show. And it's a great, great sculpt from him. As you've seen when I was showing the package, he actually does come with two different heads. So that's what this big crease here in the head is. Which is very noticeable, I guess. But still, you know, he has all these rolls and everything. So it kind of blends in. This side isn't as bad as this side. I don't know why this side is worse than the other side, but it blends in a little bit because of all the rolls and everything that is in the figure. Speaking of rolls, okay, let's take a look at the sculpt. They did a great job. Like I said, this is Slimer. This is Slimer from the real Ghostbusters. There is no denying that's what this figure is. Now, way back in the day, NECA actually released a few of these figures, and that's what this is. This is one of my favorite figures from NECA, and they just nailed it. I mean, look at the sculpt that they did. This is Slimer from the movie. It's not obviously from the animated show or anything, but wow, this is still one of my favorite sculpts, and I never have understood. I guess they lost the license as to why they couldn't have come out with all the Ghostbusters themselves and everything, but this is so cool from NECA. And they came out with one of the dogs too, and I wish I would have gotten both of them, but I only ever ended up getting the one. Oh, he pushes his tail and his eyes should still light up. Let's see if it still works after all these years. Oh, there we go. Wait. Oh, there we go. So back to this Slimer. I mean, you can tell the difference. The reason I brought him in is because movie version and then, you know, the animated version. Similar, but a little bit different. Okay, onto the sculpt here. The tongue is fantastic. Really well sculpted tongue. The teeth and everything and the expression that he's just like, ah, you know. Yeah, that's my Slimer impersonation. Really, really excellent. Fantastic. And I love the bright green, the very, very bright green color that they have on him. Yeah, and he does have kind of a big looking butt, big tush back here. You can actually see all the dimples on his butt. And his arms, you know, have that weird slimy, weird texture to them as it does his back. And he has a hole back here, and that's for something else that actually came with the package, and I'll show that here in a minute. So, how bad is the articulation? Is it going to break when I touch it? The hands seem to be moving pretty well, actually. And one thing I've noticed is he has black fingernails. I don't ever remember him having black fingernails in the show, but he probably did. And it's really cool. It's a really cool color choice there to give him black fingernails. I like a lot. Now, like I said, his hands do move in and out. He has some articulation here in his elbow. And his arms, though, are a little hard to move. They look like they try to ball joint them. And I'm afraid of breaking it, so I don't really want to move it too much. But, I mean, they do have movement in the arms. But it's a little stiff, especially this one's a little stiff here. So, again, I don't want to mess around with it too much and then break it. But it seems to me like, yeah, it's pretty solid construction. I mean, I haven't, I've been messing with it here for a few minutes off camera. And nothing really broke yet, so that's pretty good. Okay, so he comes actually with several faces. He comes with 3 faces. And this is Happy Slimer, obviously, without the mouth open. And these actually fit in there really well. And it doesn't take, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger to pull the head off and put a new one on, because the way they design this, and I'll show you this in a minute. But yeah, I love this design, so let's go ahead and put it on the figure, and I'll show you how the head pops off. So very simple. It's a very, very simple process. Boom, there it is. That's it. That's all it takes for just to take the head off, and then to put the new head on. It just fits right in there, like right in the groove. Right in the groove. Wait a minute. And this flap goes over the top of the groove. That's what the problem I was having. But yep, here's Happy Slimer, and without the mouth open. And again, another great expression. Really well done. This is really great that they gave us an options to have different faces on him. So let's take a look at the next face. Alright, this is Mad Slimer. So, yeah, this is where he's very angry because he didn't get his hot dog for the day. Fantastic sculpt. Really, really cool sculpt of angry Slimer. One thing is, the one expression I kind of would have liked was concerned, like scared Slimer. That would have been a good one. Because we already had Happy Slimer with the mouth open, and we have Happy Slimer with the mouth closed, and we have Mad Slimer, but Scared Slimer would have been a good one to have too. And if you're wondering if he stands up on his own, he does have a sort of a flat bottom, so yeah, he can stand up. I'll put him back here. So if you wanted to display him just sitting down like that, I mean, that's perfectly fine. However, he comes with an interesting stand that I have yet to put together. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so this is the stand that he came with. Here's part 1. And here are the other 2 parts to the stand. This looks similar to the stand that came, that NECA sells, that you can put your action figures on it and display them. So let's see how this thing goes together. I'm assuming it just pops into there, this pops into here, and now you have a pretty cool looking stand that Slimer can float on. Let's put him on there and see what happens. Alright, well, I'm having a problem here because Slimer is so heavy that he just sinks right down to the ground unless I am not doing this correctly. Because if I let this thing go, he loses his head. His head pops off. That's a pretty cool feature. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Let me look at it again. There is 0 instructions with this thing, but it does come apart. So you can, like, rearrange it how you want. So I'm going to try something here to see if he just sits straight up in the air. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's pretty decent. Or he's not sinking, falling down. He's still floating, so I'll take that option. There you go. There's the option. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, but that one works. Just a straight up and down Slimer there. So now I have this thing, and like I said, this is the door for the hook and ladder fire station. Now, this is huge, and I can't imagine how big this thing is. It's really impressive. It's really, really cool that they, include this thing. I know the first series actually had the entire top of the building from the end of the film where they meet Zool. So this thing is really thick here, and on the back it has a bunch of weird white plastic things taped to it. This looks like the top part of the building, I think. I don't think it's the bottom of the building. No, it'll be the top part of the building. So this is where the doors would eventually go to, I guess. This is the part of the opening for the doors. But wow, that's just crazy impressive that they added that. So there you go. There is my review for the Diamond Select Slimer figure. I am really impressed by it. The only thing that kind of annoys me was some of the paint is not great, like right in here between his gums. And it looks like his nose on this one has been chipped. And the problem with this is there are no stores available to where you can actually walk in and look at these, at least not here in St. Louis. There's nothing, there's no Toys R Us, there's absolutely nothing here that sells these, so I had to buy all this stuff offline and just hope that, you know, the paint job is going to be good. Because I used to go into Toys R Us and go through 4 or 5 or 6 figures looking for the best paint job, and I could select which ones I liked the most. That's gone. Can't do that anymore. So now I just have to rely on whatever they send me. The nose scratch here isn't terrible because it almost looks like, you know, it's part of the anime. It's part of the figure itself. So yeah, I mean, it's not awful. I can live with that. So here comes a part of the show. It's kind of new. And I used to give ratings to these, like 1 through 5 ratings and everything. But I'm going to do something much more simple from now on. Is if I would recommend this or if I would not recommend that you buy this figure. You know, recommended or not recommended. If you love the old new Ghostbusters, and if you're a big Slimer fan, yeah, this is definitely a. I haven't had any problems with any breakage here or anything like that. The only weird thing was this, trying to figure this out, and I haven't figured it out yet. But as nice as this figure is, I would really like to kind of see what the actual Ghostbusters look like. So the one I really want to pick up, I'm sorry about my lights, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's some sort of supernatural activity that's happening right here. Everything looks normal here. I don't see, oh, wait, am I picking something up? I think I am picking something up. It's some sort of supernatural activity. What is it? What is it? It's Slimer. Okay. Everything's okay now. Everything's okay. So there you have it. There is my review for the Diamond Select Slimer. I really love it. I think it's great. The paint could have been a little bit better here, but it's okay. I do like the stand and the articulation on the figure. If you're not too rough with it, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it'll break too easily. So if you enjoyed this review, I'm going to have a ton more, and they will be much sooner than months apart, I promise you. I've just been running this channel and my main channel by myself for the last about 5 months. So, there goes more paranormal activity. So, hopefully I'm going to get some help here soon on both channels, and I can get more things out here for you like this. And I am trying desperately to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you like this channel and you like what you just watched, please tell people, please subscribe, and I love to hear your comments about Diamond Select or Slimer or the real Ghostbusters or anything. Anything you want to talk about, just drop a comment down below and I will try to respond to it. So until next time, thank you for watching It Figures.